Hello! Today my speech is on how to give constructive criticism. This is my audience. No. Thank you. Yes, my audience. It's all here. Picture your coworker has a tendency to dress very provocatively, and lately you've been receiving complaints about her dressing. You, as the manager, are supposed to address her, but you are very nervous to do so. So today, I will be informing you how to effectively give criticism in a positive manner while causing as less offense as possible. You may not have to address someone on their dressing, but there may be another area that needs to be brought to light. If you remember the tips that I am going to share with you today, giving effective criticism can be painless as possible for both parties. Witnessing criticism that drastically turned for the worse has encouraged me to do research that will help me and others give criticism without encouraging hostility. My goal is to help us give criticism, promoting positivity, and good charity in the midst. I will explain how to give criticism that will leave the receiver in a high note, go into details how to verbalize styles in low and high context cultures and tones, and the importance of the principle of charity. Giving constructive criticism, leaving the reader in a high note, is important in the correction process. According to LinkedIn, in a 2015 article called Leadership Through Excellence, the number one tip that drastically stands out is to leave the conversation on a positive note. It is important that you do not leave off on a sour note because the other person can easily take offense. Therefore, it is important to use the sandwich method, which means to compliment, criticize, and compliment again. To use the sandwich method, which means those three things, the article emphasizes the feedback sandwich method as a great way to A, help the person learn what he or she is doing well, B, use it as a foundation to share what can be improved on, and finally, to articulate the benefits that can be seen if the areas of improvement is worked on. So overall, the sandwich method is not a method that's used to discourage someone. It's better yet used moreover to show them what they're doing well, to encourage them to do better, and to leave off on a good note to encourage them to keep going in the process. Now that we have talked about the condition we are supposed to leave the receiver in, which is a positive condition, and the proper technique to do so, which is the sandwich technique, now let's dive into how we're supposed to verbalize it. I discovered the article on February 26, 2018 on learning from other sources that recommended the site called Giving and Receiving Criticism. The article was very informing on detailing the importance of your tone when effectively and properly criticizing someone. Tone not only allows the delivery to go smoothly, but it also shows levels of professionalism. Tone. The definition of tone, for some of you who's wondering, I'm pretty sure that everyone has a definition of what tone is, but to just like throw it out there on one note, the Webster Dictionary of tone is the general character or attitude of a place, piece of writing, situation, etc. An example of a conversation with positive conversation would be tone, a positive tone. So to help everybody understand what tone will be, I got an example for you out of there. One. Let's say Tommy and Mike is having a conversation, and this is Tommy. This is Mike. Well, no, we're going to go to Tommy. So Tommy says, I love the design of the PowerPoint you created. Take note that he says this in a high tone. It's not a dull tone or a very aggressive tone. It's just like, I love the design of the PowerPoint you created. Exclamation point, just to help something out loud. And Mike will respond, thanks, man. And then Tommy goes, no problem. There was only one thing that you could fix if you have time. There were a few punctuation errors. And again, if I were Tommy, we are insinuating that he's saying this in a calm voice. You don't want to just say it in a negative way, like you had some punctuation errors. You don't want to offend Mike in that way because sometimes it's easy for people to become offended. Therefore, which is why the second point that I have for you all today is the tone is very important when you're coming to criticize someone. Then Mike will say, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't see that when I went over them. And you know, Tommy can respond, hey, it's fine, everything else was perfect, just do that and we'll do great on our project. So again, this is also going back to the sandwich method, compliment, criticize, compliment. But we have to go a step further to make sure that this is set in the right tone, because with the wrong tone, a good criticism could easily go bad. Therefore, tone is very important in the criticism process. Lastly, let's talk about a principle that will guarantee your success. Lastly, let's talk about a principle that will guarantee your success. You know, I was reading and I stumbled across a 2001 journal article. It was called Proper Criticism, was written by Professor Ray Hemming, a member of the CSICOP Executive Council, published 2001. And the key concept that is being talked about in this book is how everyone will not accept a criticism with kindness or without offense. You know, these things are realistic. Some people take offense when criticism is being given. Moreover, this article prepares you for those who will take offense and will be verbal about it, because some people won't sit back on offense. They'll let you know exactly how they feel. In this article, you know, this is not a matter of simply turning the other cheek. You're not being the bigger person. Moreover, you're responding with charity. And this is our last thing we're talking about today, is the principle of charity. And so charity, the definition of charity is kindness and tolerance in judging others. So an example I have for you all today of how charity should be given, because we have to understand that sometimes in the process of giving criticism, that some hostility will be there. Everyone doesn't receive criticism in the right way, regardless if you did say it in a positive note or not. Moreover, with the techniques that were shared today, I feel that you all are more than ready to push these skills into practice. Criticism does not have to be a bad thing like society frames it to be. Moreover, it is positive and empowering. Thank you all for being here to listen to my speech.